Hey guys, today we are going to be looking at the new Transformers Legacy Deluxe class Crankcase, and here he is. He is a retool of the Legacy Deluxe class skids, and you could probably see the similarities if you own any of the molds of skids. Um, so yeah, um, he doesn't really look like his military jeep like his original toy. He looks more like a spy sort of, or like a government vehicle, I'd say, like a black government vehicle, or like a futuristic, like something that like a mob boss would drive, maybe. Um, and that's, um, I think this like the way they made him all angular and stuff, that would definitely fit like a stockade from the '07 movie if they put stockade uh like his that they redid that toy in this mold, and they went with this like sharp, very sharp alt mode and the jet black paint. I think that'll look very, very nice. I wish so he doesn't have the same like dark gray that the original toy had, but yeah. So here's his gun done in a charcoal transparent plastic, and here are these strips of paint to emulate the guns on the original toy. The winch and all the details on the front bumper are the same. The cans on the side, the spare tire, which was a sticker on the original, and then the Decepticon symbol in the nice teal, that was a sticker on the original toy. So yeah, for those small little minute details, they did very, very good on like recreating those. But it's not bad, but trying to like recreate the character, like if they wanted to go, they would have had to do a lot more. um they would have had to do a lot more if they wanted to make him look like this or similar to it. But I don't really care because I like the like reimagining of him, even though I like the G1's alt mode a lot better. But that's besides the point. It doesn't look bad. So I'm gonna leave the gun off to the side, and we'll just jump into the transformation. And when we get to the robot mode, I'll talk about this front bumper piece. So there are only a couple new steps in this, so you'll flip up these. I think that's new. And now from here to the shoulders is all the same. So you flip down the wheels on both sides, flip down the wheels on both sides, and now you'll swing all this back, and then you untab it from the back, and the legs might come undone. On mine they do a little bit, and then the waist will come down, and that little tab will sit in like a square slot. You might be able to see it, but you just hinge it down and straighten out the legs, and now you'll close up these to form the shins. And now I'm gonna raise the camera up so you can see a little bit better. So you'll rock the shoulders out so the wheels will form the sides of the shoulder instead of being on the back of the shoulder. So just rock that out, and that's the new design. And that's the new design of him. And then you'll just straighten out the arms, and now I like to just separate that, and then the head's all caught up, and then you'll bring it down. Sometimes because his head's very blocky, it'll get caught, so you just hold it back, and then you can fit the chest through. So, or at least on mine it does that. So you'll feel it tab in. It's not very like a click. You can just feel it depress in it. So just straighten him out and everything. And if you want this more like flush back, you can do that, but I personally like to bring it up. And now you can see the guns that they are creating an homage to on the original toy. They're small, they're not as like big as the original toys, but for having to work with the space of a pre-existing mold and not being able to make his own, I think it's good enough as an homage. As much as I would like it to be, as much as I would like those to be a little bit bigger. So here he is. Here is Crankcase transformed. So obviously, the bumper and all this is supposed to come off. I personally don't hate it because it at least becomes, and you just take this off whether you leave it on and then take it off or you take it off at the beginning. It becomes a gun. You just flip this down and it becomes like a forend or like another grip. And you can see 2 guns molded in. I think those are blast effect compatible, but it becomes a gun. Because, as you saw, because I transformed him that way, this becomes, the front of the skids mold becomes the chest. So, unless that whole thing was molded, then you would lose all of this beautiful paint, which was a sticker on the original toy. So, I'm not mad about it because at least it's not a shield. At least it's not like Earthrise Cliff Jumper where the third of the vehicle comes off and becomes a shield. Or a shield. It at least becomes a gun. Or at least it's supposed to look like a gun. And if you don't care about looking at this, you can still leave that whole front piece on, and it doesn't look bad, as you probably saw because I just took it off. It doesn't look bad. It's because there's still a lot of the silver still leaves a nice color breakup, and because of all the little details in it, like the winch and the winch, it creates it still breaks up all the blue, and it doesn't make it look like he's just a big block of black, which I like. So, if you don't care about missing all this, and you don't like parts forming, you can still leave it on there, and it still doesn't look like hideous or anything. It still looks pretty good. Like, it still looks like if it was made like that, I wouldn't turn my nose up to it, because it still looks pretty good. So, the gun, it becoming a gun, I'd rather have it become a gun, or at least try to become a gun, and not just a shield. I think Hasbro was at least trying a little bit harder. Trying a little bit harder. They weren't trying, they're trying a little bit harder, because what I noticed is that straightening him out, whether it's at his knees or at his hips, so he doesn't look like he's leaning back, straightening him out, where the head is obviously facing forward, the chest is sloped down, because it's sloped down. It's like this. It's not completely at a 90. It's maybe at like an 87 degree angle, or even, it's just slightly angled, as you can see. It's slightly angled. And I think that's even present on the skids mold and all the other versions of the mold. So I think they could have most definitely created some sort of hinging mechanism to make this completely flat and straight. Like, make it straight so it's not... Even him, he now is like... He now has his, like... He is sort of like bent back. I think they could have most definitely worked in just a little hinge to flip that underneath the chest. So this piece would be connected and it'd flip down and underneath and tuck underneath. So then it'd be completely straight. It's not, you'll never really notice that it's bent forward, but it's just, or bent, like angled. But I just think that could have been another way that they could have integrated this piece into the transformation, opposed to doing it, using it as a weapon or parts forming. So yeah, I just think that's they could have done that. It would have been very complex and maybe brittle because the joints would be very thin. But just wanted to point that out. So yeah. I like him. I like the idea of reusing the mold, the Skids mold, because it's a very wide mold and it fits him because he's like a bruiser, or he can be a bruiser. He likes beating up people, and he's not happy all the time. And I really love the full face scowl that he has. Just like another bad day at work. He just hates life. He hates life, and the only joy that he can find in life is beating people up. And I love the scowl. Yeah, I really like it. I'm just glad that he at least got a new toy. He even got a new toy. Last toy that I can think of was at least in 2007 when he got redecoed from the Cybertron Red Alert mold into Crankcase. But yeah, still, it's not too bad. I really wish he could have been a mold, his own original mold, to make him go that extra mile. Just that's what I personally think. But he's not bad. So yeah, and for comparison, here is the original one. Here is the original Crankcase. And you can see the blue limbs and the torso. You can see the lovely paint compared to the stickers. Obviously, mine is not pristine whatsoever. But yeah. And he's not really... I don't own Windsweeper of the Trigger Cons. I really like Crankcase. He's just a fun toy. G1 Crankcase. He's just a fun toy, and that's all he needs to be. And I really like him for that. I really like his design. I like his gimmick. And I like this toy as well, because I just got this guy and I experienced him for BotCon, and now I got him, and I really like him as well. He's not perfect, which the original toy wasn't perfect at all. And obviously, his character's not perfect. He's mean, and he hates his life. But I really wish they could have done a little bit better of a job. I think, I might try engineering or designing some sort of little arm that could make this swing down underneath of his chest. I don't know. Just a thought, But yeah, I really like this guy. So, not everyone's gonna buy this. Unless you like the Trigger Cons or you grew up with the character. People aren't probably gonna buy this. But when I saw it, I pre-ordered it, I really like it. I like him. He's not completely perfect, parts forming, but I can't hate it. But, I don't know. Just for a character that's only got really 2 toys, not including this one, he should have got, me personally, a better toy. Or at least a better thought-out toy. Me personally, still really like him. And, if you don't like the parts forming, or you don't like this character, you don't like the way that, him having to reuse a pre-existing mold, I like the idea of using the Skids mold. But, yeah, he probably could have been done with a better mold, or a better mold that fit him, without having to engineer a whole new one. But, he's not too bad. He's, you can still get him, pre-order him. I think he's worth it, If he was like a Voyager or a Leader, he probably wouldn't be. But since he's just a deluxe, I think he's worth it. Even with the parts forming and all the other things that he has, but that's besides the point. Yeah, and I ordered this. I can't remember when I ordered it, but basically when the pre-orders dropped on Big Bad Toy Store, and it basically said that it wouldn't be here till March, if I remember correctly, but it's October. No, not October. Well, it came in October. I'm just doing the video here in November. November. So one more plus to this. One more plus. Uh, Big Bad Toy Store. They are a great company, and like they packaged him very very well, and he moved very very quick. You know, March, January, one of the two. I can't remember, January to March, where he was supposed to come, and it's November. November 1st. And so yeah, just another thing. So really like the toy, and yeah, that's really all I have to say. So till next time, see ya.